What is the true goal of Islam? Well, I like to start the presentation with talking about two misnomers, or in my opinion, lies that we have been told about Islam. Number one, we have been told since 9/11 that Islam is a religion of peace that has had a few hijack it. That some have perverted Islam, and that it's really a peaceful religion. Well, technically, Muslims will tell you that that is true, that it is about peace. But their definition of peace is very different than our definition of peace, because they believe that peace will be established by their God, Allah, when a nation becomes predominantly Muslim, and the law of that nation gets changed to Islamic law, or what we know as Sharia, which we'll talk about later. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not my definition of peace. So when this happens, the idea is that therefore the nation should, experience peace and social justice and prosperity and all these different things. I say, okay, well, let's look at the fruit. Do we not have nations on the planet Earth that are predominantly Muslim? Yes. We have 57 nations on Earth that are predominantly Muslim nations. And so let's look at the fruit of those nations. Do we see those nations where they are at peace with their own people? Do we see them at peace with their neighbors? Do we see freedom of expression? Freedom of speech? Freedom for the media to be able to get the truth out? Do we see freedom of religion? Tolerance for minorities? Absolutely not. In fact, in the last 2 years, it has been reported that the persecution against Jews and Christians has increased at a dramatic rate. In Iraq, they are saying today that there's been more persecution of Christians in Iraq in the last year than there was in the 30 years previously under Saddam Hussein. So this is what's increasing. And we're also being told that what you see happening in the Middle East right now is a democratic movement within all these countries. We'll talk about that later. You'll see. But the fact is, you got to look at their deeds. What about treatment of women? How do they do there? Countries that have Islamic law as their rule of law, how do they treat their women? We'll look at that as well. These are things we have to look at, because again, the claim is once Islam is instituted as the majority belief system of a country, Allah will usher in peace. I don't see the fruit. In fact, the Quran has over 100 verses in it that advocate violence towards non-believers, particularly the people of the book. Those are the Jews and the Christians. Clear verses. And yet I had people say, well, that's talking spiritually. When it says smite their necks, when it says, besiege them, the people of the book, lay siege for them and kill them, I'm not sure about you, but kill to me is very clear. I don't know what it is about Americans, guys, but sometimes, it's a spiritual kill. What is a spiritual kill? It's not a spiritual kill. It's a literal kill. And that's what is being followed. So is it a religion of peace? You have to make that conclusion.